guys, it's Breck with Wagon Wheel Photo. I just wanted to make a quick video just showing how I edit an image. I have learned so much watching other photographers and their videos of them editing, so I thought I could make one and hopefully it would help somebody. I am not an expert. I learn something new literally every shoot and every time I edit something, so I've always got lots to learn, but I hope this helps somebody. Let's get started. So I edit most of my images in Lightroom, and then switch over to Photoshop for just some finishing touches. If there's something I can't do with Lightroom, I'll finish up in Photoshop. I always just start, adjust my crop just a little bit. I never get my crops right in camera. I know that is a rule, but I just never do it, so I always have to fix them. I shoot with a D800. The file sizes are huge, and it lets me have a little bit of cropping room, I guess. So this image needs to be warmed up a little bit. And then I'm going to bring up this exposure just a tad and add some contrast. Love contrast. I'm going to bring the highlights down because all of the water behind her and the sky behind her is blown. I normally don't like subjects on a background like this where it's real light because I feel like it just doesn't make them pop. But I feel like with her skin tone, her red dress, her dark hair, I feel like she pops on this. So I liked this background for her. I'm going to bring up my shadows just a smidge, about 30. I'm going to just look at what bringing down the whites. Yeah, I like that. And then I'm going to bring my blacks down just a little bit. I like to have my histogram, I like to have everything spread out and on both sides. Here you see it's climbing the wall, and that is somewhere in here where I've probably blown it, and I'm okay with that. I just don't want to blow the highlights on her hair, on her skin, on her clothing, but I'm okay with it blowing in the background. Some people aren't, but just to me it's okay. I'm going to adjust the highlights just a little bit more there, like that. I always add a little vibrance to my images. It just, I think, gives it a little pop. That's usually all I do. A lot of times I'll add a little bit of orange luminance. And I do that a lot where I adjust it, then double click to see the before, and then adjust it, and just for some reason it helps me see it. I usually sharpen my images about 50, and then I always adjust my luminance slider in the noise reduction panel. Even if there's no noise at all, I usually do it just a little bit because I feel like it, I don't know, I like the way it looks. It smooths it out. It just adds a little extra something to the picture. Again, that's probably one of those like rules that I'm breaking, but it's just what I like. So I'm going to add a little bit of light to her eyes by using an adjustment brush. And so I've got everything zeroed out here. I'm just going to lift the shadows in her eyes like just a little bit, and I think that looks good. Alright, so that's a good starting point for her. I love how the light's hitting her hair here. I think it's just a beautiful image. So let's go ahead and open it up in Photoshop. And I'm sure there's a faster way to do this. Open all of my images in Photoshop after they've been edited with Lightroom. So I need to research that and figure it out because right now I'm just opening them one by one, and it takes a lot of time. So the first thing I do is always duplicate my background layer, and then I usually get rid of just things that like pop out of me as distractions, like the easy ones, not the crazy cloning that I may have to do, but just sometimes there's just some things that pop out at me, like I don't mind this because there's a reflection. I wish I would have stepped back a little bit when shooting because there was another tree over here that I felt like kind of like sticking into the water that would have framed her nicely. But for now, I'm just going to leave this mess over here. So let's see. I like to do a curves layer. Usually pick somewhere on not my patient. I'm a nurse, so to click somewhere on my client's skin and bump that up a little bit. And then I like to find a dark area. I guess I can use her hair and pull it down a little bit. And just like in Lightroom, I like to look at before and after, and I like it. Let's add a little bit of a mid-tone bump. I like it. All right. And then there's nothing really. She looks great. I like her pose. I like her expression. So there's nothing really. The client asked me to. She said fix her arms. So we did a lot of work with posing her arms, popping her elbow out away from her body, which makes this part of the arm appear smaller. But she asked me, would I please fix any bulges that she had in her arm? And I showed her an example of an image on the back of the camera, and she said, yeah, can you fix that? So I normally do not make clients lose weight or look smaller. You know, if somebody has something bunched up under their dress, yes, I'll fix that. But I typically don't just make people lose weight because I want people to look like they look. But something like this, she specifically asked me to do it, and so I will. So I will make a new layer, copy of all the previous layers, go to Filter and Liquify. Zoom in here so I can see what I'm doing. And then I like this, I think it's called Pucker. Yeah, the Pucker tool. And I just kind of touch and click where I want to have it pucker. So I'll give you a before and after. It is not drastic. It's a real simple change, and it still looks like her, but I think she'll be happy with it. Again, she specifically asked me to fix that. I would never change something on a client if they didn't specifically ask me to do it, because people should be comfortable in their skin. She's beautiful, and I want her to feel that way. But if there's something that bothers her and she wants that specifically and asks for it, then I will do that for a client. I use some Marissa Gifford actions. The signature set is amazing. I love every single one of them. There's a couple that I use more than others, but I love her warmer and cooler action. It's real simple. You hit play, you choose which one you want, warmer, and you can see just the tiniest difference, but I love it. And then you can add even more. My opacity, it comes set as 30%. You can add a lot more, which I love. To me, this color on the screen is exactly what I saw the day I was shooting this. Just a beautiful, warm, golden light, kind of pinky, orangey, sunset, just beautiful. Another one of her actions I use a lot is the clean workflow. It adds just a little bit more contrast, just another pop. There's before and after. A lot of times I'll tone this one down because I've already done some contrast and some mid-tone lifting and stuff like that on my own, so I don't necessarily want to run it at 100%, but I like that. She's got a basic vignette that's really very subtle. That's at 40%, and then here's at 100. I mean, very, very subtle, but it does do what it's supposed to and draws your eyes right to your subject. There's lots of other ones that I use. If I do something more to an image, but just for a clean edit, that's usually what I do. A lot of times I play with selective color. I'm sorry, not selective color, the color balance tool. I feel like you can have so much control with your image and the tones, and it's a tool that I really like. Oh, I love that. This is a Beautiful mama.